So the practice is to voluntarily, as much as possible, relinquish identification with the thinking mind and your usual self. Presence practice. Here, it's more easier than in your usual surroundings. Presence practice, present moment practice. There's a lot of nature here. I recommend taking walks in nature, looking at the trees, at the sky. There's a lake, the grass, the flowers, many, many lovely things. Be as present as you can and alert. And as you walk around from one building to another, from here to there, really perceive. That already is a liberation from the usual self. Because you're not thinking, you cannot really perceive your surroundings fully when your usual self is talking to you. And it's probably not talking about this present moment, it's talking about what you're going to encounter when you get back home. Or what happened last week. Or it's doubting that being here is actually a good thing. Or it's criticizing something that shouldn't really be here, but it's here. You don't want to, because that's not a retreat. You haven't really retreated. You've retreated on the external level, but you have not used this opportunity to retreat from your usual self, your usual mind. So use the opportunity and retreat from the usual self, which is your usual mind. And the quickest way to that is alert presence. Let's say you're walking on the way there, from your room to the library, and you're walking immersed in your usual self. Let's say it's a 3-minute walk. And then suddenly you wake up in the library, perhaps you open a book that says, "Be present." And then you walk back from the library and suddenly you go, amazing shift. Your entire world has been transformed. The way in which you experience the world, or your reality, has completely shifted into something different. You're suddenly a field of consciousness that is perceiving the multiplicity of life in the universe. In fact, it feels that you are a manifestation of this universe perceiving itself. And you see so much aliveness and beauty all around you, and other senses are part of that also. There's not just the visual. You listen, there's the sounds, there may be birds, other sounds. You breathe in the air. You hear the sound of your steps on whatever it is, gravel, if there's a sound, or you sense the softness of the grass. And you look at the sky without labeling very much. You don't need to mentally call it what it is, what for. You know what it is without calling it what it is. You don't need to have a mental comment that says, "Oh, that's a lovely sky, I wonder if the weather is going to last." No, you don't need that. And this is the discovery that you don't need that. When you need it, you have it. But if you want to tell somebody the weather forecast, you have it. But you don't need it. You perceive more deeply by not labeling. And that is the retreat from the mind. And then it becomes a true retreat. So you walk from point A to point B as in that sense of a sense of wonder. And then you sense there's not only then what you perceive through your senses, because after all, that is the surface reality. It's beautiful. But as you perceive the beautiful surface reality of multiplicity of life forms, you can also sense an underlying stillness or presence as yourself. I can sense it at this moment. At this moment, words come out of my mouth, but I can sense the place where these words originate. And they do not originate in my mind. My mind becomes an instrument for it. It formulates the words, but the words originate from a deeper place. And when you listen to these words, you can also listen to these words from that deeper place within yourself, and something within you responds, not in words, but it's like a recognition of what it is that I'm talking about. And so you can, as I speak from that deeper place of alert stillness, you can listen from that deeper place of alert stillness. And now that's a real retreat. Now it's become a retreat. So whether you are on a retreat depends, of course, on your state of consciousness. So use the opportunity of being here, and as much as possible, let go of the usual self, which includes your life situation that you've left behind temporarily. Everybody has one. You have a certain life situation that's to do with where you live, who you live with, the job you have, your financial situation, even your health situation. It's all to do with your life situation. But you don't want to be a walking life situation, because then you have to juggle all these things in your mind to keep them going. What about this and what about that? And at least one area probably is problematic in your life. Whether it's your living situation, your home, whether it's your relationship situation or your marriage or whatever it is, or whether it's your financial situation or your job situation or your health situation, it's unlikely that there is not at least one that's quite problematic. And for many of you, it's more than one. There may be even some of you if all these are problematic. But do you want to walk around as a problematic sense of self? Not saying, I'm going to ignore all these problems and never take any more action for the rest of my life. No, it's not that. But when you don't need that, why be burdened by that? And right now, there's nothing you can do about any of it. So why not step out, transcend your life situation, instead of being immersed and carrying around with you your life situation as a burden, a continuous burden, a burdensome sense of self. Instead of that, be the life. You are life. You're not just a life situation. You are life. You are an expression of the one life that manifests as the universe.